For over 120 years, a manuscript remained hidden under threat of excommunication and imprisonment. Anyone who made it public would be silenced. Helena Blavatsky, accused of heresy and spiritual espionage, recorded there the evidence that could never fall into the hands of the church or science. The recording, censored by direct orders from 3 countries, recently reappeared in a Russian digital archive, and what she said about the soul and death has never been heard by you until now. What Blavatsky revealed in this document could rewrite everything you believed about what happens after the last breath. The ancient wisdom she uncovered wasn't meant for public consumption, not because it was dangerous in itself, but because of how it would transform our understanding of existence. Imagine discovering that death isn't the end, but merely a threshold, a doorway into another dimension of experience. The sound of the crackling recording fills the room as her voice emerges through time. It's both unsettling and mesmerizing, like hearing a ghost speak directly to you across the veil of decades. Her words carry a weight, an authority that transcends the normal boundaries of human knowledge. When you listen closely, something shifts inside. That subtle recognition, when truth resonates with something you've always known, but couldn't articulate. Have you ever felt that death couldn't possibly be the complete end? That intuition might be more than wishful thinking. Blavatsky's forbidden manuscript offers a framework that explains those inexplicable moments of connection with loved ones who have passed, those dreams where they appear so vividly, those strange coincidences that seem like messages from beyond. What if these weren't just psychological comfort mechanisms, but actual glimpses of a reality science is only beginning to understand? The manuscript contains knowledge that powerful institutions fought to suppress, not through violence alone, but through ridicule and marginalization. Yet the truth has a way of persisting, of finding pathways back into the light. And now, after more than a century, Blavatsky's most controversial discoveries about the immortality of the soul have emerged from the shadows. In an abandoned monastery in Transylvania in the year 1906, a copy of Blavatsky's original treatise, sealed in leather and protected by 3 hermetic symbols, was taken by a former disciple to the archives of the National Library of Russia. The ancient building, with its weathered stone walls and narrow windows, seemed the perfect sanctuary for knowledge too dangerous for ordinary minds. The manuscript's journey was itself treacherous, crossing borders under cover of night, passing through the hands of trusted guardians, each sworn to secrecy. The content was catalogued under a secret code and prohibited from circulating outside the Theosophical Institute of Moscow until 2023. Researchers who attempted to access it faced mysterious obstacles, funding suddenly withdrawn, credentials questioned, careers subtly threatened. The power of this knowledge was evident in the lengths to which certain interests went to keep it concealed. And right on the first page, Blavatsky writes something that no scientist has dared to repeat in public. Her words challenge the very foundation of materialist science, suggesting that consciousness exists independent of the brain, that it precedes physical existence and continues after bodily death. Not as a religious belief, but as an observable reality for those with the correct instruments, both technological and perceptual. By the way, from which city are you watching this now? I want to understand how far this hidden knowledge can echo. Perhaps you're in a bustling metropolis, surrounded by millions yet feeling fundamentally alone. Or maybe you're in a quiet, rural setting where the boundary between worlds sometimes seems thinner, more permeable. Wherever you are, Blavatsky's revelations about the afterlife speak to that universal human question: what happens when our eyes close for the final time? The temperature in the room seems to drop slightly as we delve deeper into this forbidden knowledge. The boundaries between past and present blur, just as Blavatsky suggested they would. Her journey of discovery unfolds before us, a path marked by persecution, revelation, and transformation. In 1877, Blavatsky published Isis Unveiled, a work that directly challenged both religious dogma and scientific materialism. She exposed what she called spiritual manipulations, the deliberate distortion of ancient wisdom to control and limit human potential. The response was swift and merciless. 6 academic circles banned her name from their proceedings. Religious authorities denounced her as a dangerous heretic. Scientists dismissed her as a charlatan, despite her accurate predictions of discoveries that would come decades later. The persecution only strengthened her resolve. She understood that some knowledge could only be preserved through carefully chosen channels, passed from teacher to student when the time was right. The most dangerous truths, those with the power to completely reshape human understanding, required protection from those who would misuse or suppress them. By 1888, she had recorded in private the vibrational doctrine of the soul, but prohibited it from going public. This doctrine explained not only the continuity of consciousness after death, but also the mechanisms by which deceased souls could communicate with the living. She described specific frequencies, energy patterns, and transitional states that mapped the journey of consciousness as it moved beyond physical existence. The manuscript contained detailed descriptions of experiments anyone could conduct to verify these claims, simple technologies that could detect the subtle energy patterns of consciousness as it separated from the body. But she foresaw that such tools, if widely distributed before humanity was ready, could be weaponized or commercialized, corrupting their profound purpose. In 1906, the manuscript was transcribed and hidden for protection. The copy disappeared into the shadowy archives of secret societies and private collections. Rumors persisted that certain governments had obtained fragments, using them to develop classified research programs investigating consciousness as a form of non-local intelligence. Research that continues in black-budget programs today. Over decades, pieces of Blavatsky's vibrational theory emerged in scattered publications, often disguised as fiction or poetry to avoid censorship. Those who recognized the patterns found their way to underground groups preserving her complete teachings. Meanwhile, mainstream science continued to advance toward discoveries that increasingly aligned with her once ridiculed claims. Then, in 2023, something extraordinary happened. A spiritual hacker, someone who navigates both technological and metaphysical realms, discovered a fragment of audio with an inexplicable vibrational modulation. Hidden within the Russian digital archives was a recording of what appeared to be Blavatsky's voice, captured on an early wax cylinder device. The quality was poor, distorted by time and multiple transfers, but the content was unmistakable. Fragments of the forbidden knowledge she had kept from public view. The technical analysis revealed something even more startling. The frequency pattern of Blavatsky's recorded voice didn't correspond to normal human vocal patterns. There were overtones, harmonic structures that shouldn't be possible with the recording technology of her era. Some audio engineers suggested the patterns resembled quantum field fluctuations rather than ordinary sound waves, as if her voice itself was modulating between different planes of existence as she spoke. What could explain this anomaly? Was it merely a degradation of the recording medium over time? Or had Blavatsky somehow imprinted something more than mere words onto the wax cylinder, a vibrational key that could unlock perception of the very realms she described? As her voice emerges from the static, the words become clear. Death is not extinction. It is merely a change of focus, a withdrawal of consciousness from physical to subtler vehicles. The timbre of her voice carries a peculiar resonance, something that seems to bypass the ears and speak directly to something deeper within. Those who listen report a strange sensation, a momentary expansion of awareness, as if briefly glimpsing through a window into another dimension of being. Listeners describe feeling suddenly aware of presences around them, not frightening but familiar. Some report spontaneous memories of deceased loved ones, not as distant recollections but as immediate, vivid experiences. Others describe a brief but profound sense of their own continuity beyond the physical, a knowing rather than a believing that something essential within them cannot die. The recording continues, revealing secrets about human consciousness that were centuries ahead of their time. And with each revelation, the barrier between Blavatsky's era and our own seems to thin, as if time itself is less substantial than we imagined, exactly as her manuscript claimed. The first evidence Blavatsky presents in her forbidden manuscript strikes at the very heart of our understanding of consciousness. The soul does not die, her voice asserts with unwavering conviction. It merely changes form like a wave that disappears from the surface, but never from the ocean. This elegant metaphor wasn't merely poetic language. Blavatsky elaborated with remarkable precision on the nature of consciousness as a continuous non-local vibration that moves between planes of existence. According to her detailed descriptions, what we experience as individual identity is actually a temporary expression of a larger field, much like a wave is a temporary expression of the ocean's vast potential. She describes how consciousness operates on multiple frequency bands simultaneously, only one of which corresponds to physical existence. When the body dies, awareness naturally shifts to these other frequency domains, which have always been present but typically remain outside our ordinary perception. The transition, she explains, is similar to changing the channel on a radio. The other stations don't cease broadcasting when we're not tuned to them. The implications are extraordinary. If Blavatsky's vibrational theory is correct, you have never truly lost anyone you've loved. They've simply shifted to a different frequency of existence, one that occasionally intersects with our own during dreams, meditative states, or moments of heightened emotional resonance. Those inexplicable sensations of a loved one's presence after their passing, those dreams that feel more like visitations, those meaningful coincidences that seem like messages, all could be actual points of contact across these vibrational boundaries. But the manuscript reveals something even more profound, something never shown even within theosophical circles. Blavatsky describes techniques that allow for conscious communication across these boundaries. Not the theatrical seances that became popular in her era, which she dismissed as mostly psychological projection and occasionally dangerous dabbling with lower astral entities. Instead, she outlined specific meditative practices and attention disciplines that systematically expand perception to include these normally invisible realms. The second piece of evidence plunges even deeper into territory that science is only now beginning to approach. Decades before quantum physics revolutionized our understanding of reality, Blavatsky was already describing a unified field connecting mind, atom, and spirit. Her manuscript contains diagrams showing 7 interconnected lines linking matter to vibrational planes, patterns that bear a striking resemblance to the geometric energy configurations later described by Nikola Tesla. The separation between material and immaterial is an illusion of perception, she writes. Just as water can exist as solid, liquid, or gas while remaining essentially water, consciousness can express through various densities of manifestation while remaining unified. In essence, the diagrams illustrate how consciousness transitions between these states, maintaining continuity even as its expression transforms. According to her detailed explanation, death is merely a partial disconnection from the physical frequency, a process that, under certain conditions, could theoretically be reversible. This provides a rational explanation for near-death experiences, where consciousness temporarily detaches from the body before returning. Experiences consistently reported across cultures throughout human history. More startling still, her manuscript predicted discoveries in quantum physics that wouldn't emerge for decades, including quantum entanglement, non-locality, and the observer effect. She described reality as fundamentally responsive to consciousness, existing in a state of potential until collapsed into specific expression through observation, a description remarkably similar to modern quantum mechanical models. If Blavatsky's unified field theory is correct, the implications extend far beyond theoretical physics. It suggests that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but rather focused through it, like light through a prism. The brain doesn't generate awareness, but channels and limits it to create the specific experience we call human life. When the physical body dies, consciousness doesn't cease. It expands beyond those limitations. Have you ever experienced moments when time seemed to stretch or compress, when boundaries between yourself and your surroundings temporarily dissolved? According to Blavatsky, these aren't anomalies or hallucinations, but glimpses of consciousness, operating beyond its normal physical constraints. brief experiences of the larger reality that awaits all of us. But the manuscript contains a warning regarding this transition that sends shivers down the spine of those who understand its implications. Not all souls navigate this passage with equal ease. Some become trapped in transitional states, neither fully detached from physical existence nor able to progress to higher vibrational planes. This leads to the third and most disturbing evidence in Blavatsky's hidden teachings. Not all souls are able to ascend, she cautions in a particularly solemn passage. Some remain trapped, others fall even further. Her manuscript outlines 7 distinct states that consciousness can experience after physical death, a cosmology of afterlife realms that corresponds with remarkable precision to descriptions found across diverse spiritual traditions worldwide. What makes her account unique, however, is the detailed explanation of the mechanisms governing this process. Rather than divine judgment or random fate, Blavatsky describes a natural system responding to the vibrational qualities developed during life. How we respond to suffering, how we process emotional experiences, how we direct our attention and energy, all create patterns that determine our post-death trajectory. The soul carries forward not the events of life, but the essence distilled from those events, she explains. Not what happened to you, but what you became through those happenings. This essence creates resonance with corresponding planes of existence, naturally drawing consciousness toward matching vibrational states after death. Those who cultivated awareness, compassion, and inner stillness naturally resonate with higher vibrational planes characterized by expanded perception and deeper connection. Those dominated by fear, hatred, or excessive attachment find themselves drawn to denser realms where these limiting patterns continue and even intensify. The manuscript includes detailed accounts from individuals who temporarily accessed these various planes during profound meditative states or near-death experiences. Their descriptions, recorded decades apart across different cultures, show remarkable consistency, suggesting they were indeed perceiving the same multi-layered reality rather than culturally conditioned hallucinations. Most chilling is Blavatsky's description of what she calls the eighth sphere, a state of such profound spiritual contraction that the individual essence becomes almost completely isolated, unable to perceive anything beyond its own projections. This isn't portrayed as eternal punishment, but as a natural consequence of consciousness, repeatedly turning against its own essential nature through choices that violate universal principles of connection and harmony. There exists a point beyond which return becomes nearly impossible, her manuscript warns, not because redemption is denied, but because the capacity to recognize connection atrophies through disuse. This is the state she implores readers to avoid, not through fear, but through developing the inner qualities that naturally resonate with more expanded states of being. In the final portions of her manuscript, Blavatsky reaches the culmination of her forbidden teachings. She describes the soul as a self-aware entity, capable of choosing either to reincarnate, continuing its evolutionary journey through physical existence, or to transcend definitively into higher vibrational domains. This process, she insists, is connected to free will rather than predetermined fate. Each soul ultimately chooses its path based on what it seeks to experience and learn. Most significant is her assertion that love is the only force capable of traversing all planes of existence. Unlike other energetic patterns that resonate with specific vibrational states, love transcends these limitations, maintaining connection across all boundaries. This explains why connections based on authentic love often persist after death, manifesting as continued communication or guidance from beyond. Love is not merely an emotion, she writes, but the recognition of essential unity expressing through apparent separation. This recognition, she claims, is the ultimate purpose of consciousness individualizing into separate souls, to experience the joy of reunion, of remembering connection that was never truly broken. Her manuscript concludes with a stark warning that resonates eerily with our current moment. A civilization that rejects the soul is becoming a new underworld. She foresaw a time when materialist thinking would dominate to such an extent that humanity would lose connection with its spiritual dimensions, creating a collective state similar to the eighth sphere, a shared reality of isolation, projection, and spiritual constriction. But there is a handwritten fragment, omitted from official archives, that speaks of an imminent vibrational catastrophe. This final warning describes how the accumulated weight of materialist thinking eventually creates a tipping point, a moment when humanity's collective field becomes so dense that it begins to pull rather than elevate individual consciousness. Yet even here, Blavatsky offers hope. This crisis point also creates the conditions for unprecedented awakening. As material systems reveal their limitations, more individuals begin seeking deeper truths. The very intensity of contraction creates the potential for equally powerful expansion, a spiritual quickening that could transform human consciousness on a scale never before seen. If Blavatsky's comprehensive theory of consciousness is correct, humanity stands at a critical threshold. The choices we make now, individually and collectively, will determine not just the quality of our current existence, but the vibrational pathways available to us after physical death. The positive potential is extraordinary. As more people awaken to their multidimensional nature, networks of conscious souls could establish clearer communication between dimensions. The veil between worlds could thin, allowing greater wisdom to flow between planes of existence. The fear of death that underlies so much human suffering could dissolve into understanding of life's continuous nature. Imagine being able to maintain conscious connection with those you love across the transition of death. Imagine approaching your own eventual transition, not with terror, but with curiosity and peaceful anticipation. Imagine a civilization built on the understanding that consciousness is continuous, that our choices create our reality, that love transcends all boundaries of existence. But the manuscript also warns of the shadow possibility. If humanity continues its trajectory of spiritual disconnection, our shared reality could become increasingly dense and constrictive. The materialist paradigm, viewing consciousness as merely a byproduct of physical processes, could create a collective field that functions as a vibrational prison, limiting our awareness even after physical death. The emotional resonance of Blavatsky's revelation strikes at the core of our deepest human concerns. Imagine reuniting with your mother, your child, your lost love, with the certainty that this isn't an illusion, but an actual continuation of connection that death could not sever. The comfort this brings isn't just psychological, it's the recognition of an actual reality that exists beyond our limited perception. Would you share this knowledge to console someone grieving a profound loss? Or would you protect this secret for fear of what it might awaken? Would you risk being ridiculed for speaking truths that challenge the dominant materialist paradigm? Are you willing to examine your own life choices through the lens of how they might be shaping your soul's vibrational trajectory? The implications of Blavatsky's vibrational theory extend beyond individual comfort. They suggest that our civilization's dismissal of the spiritual dimension isn't just a philosophical position, but a collective trajectory with profound consequences. And what if the next plane described by Blavatsky is the same one that Tesla attempted to map in 1931 and nearly went mad in the process? Tesla's journals contain cryptic references to frequencies that, when properly modulated, seem to open communication with what he called other localities of consciousness. His experiments with electromagnetic fields led him into territories that his scientific mind struggled to integrate, experiences that paralleled Blavatsky's descriptions with uncanny precision. Was Tesla, through technology, accessing the same realms that Blavatsky perceived through developed spiritual awareness? And what if there's an eighth frequency, where souls who don't return remain silently observing everything? In the next episode, we'll explore what Einstein left recorded in his hidden papers about eternal consciousness, documents that his estate kept sealed decades beyond the standard release period. Einstein's private correspondence reveals he maintained a lifelong fascination with consciousness as a field phenomenon rather than a brain-generated epiphenomenon. His conversations with quantum pioneer Wolfgang Pauli ventured into territory his public scientific papers never acknowledged. Speculations about consciousness as the fundamental reality from which matter emerges rather than the reverse. Like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell. Before this video is removed like the original documents, the history of the soul is still being written, and you are part of it. Your awareness, your choices, your vibrational essence contributes to the collective field in ways more profound than most realize. Each person who awakens to these deeper dimensions strengthens the pathway for others. Leave a comment sharing any unexplained experiences you've had that might suggest consciousness extends beyond physical boundaries. Your story might be the validation someone else needs to trust their own deepest knowing. The evidence for continuous consciousness isn't just in hidden manuscripts. It's in the direct experience of countless individuals throughout human history. Share this video with someone ready to hear these truths, someone questioning the materialist paradigm, someone grieving a loss, someone seeking deeper meaning in existence. The time has come for those who see beyond the veil to find each other, to strengthen the field of expanded awareness that Blavatsky foresaw would eventually transform human civilization. The truth doesn't always shout. Sometimes it merely whispers to those ready to hear.